Frank Warren, thanks for speaking to us. Now, there's been a lot of publicity around boxing since last weekend's incident. Are you hoping this weekend is really a chance for Nathan to show the public what the sport of boxing is really about?
Yeah, I mean, boxing 99% of the time, the people the fighters and the people around it behave properly outside the ring and save all their aggression for inside. What happened last week was not good for boxing, not good for all the guys involved. But from my point of view, I'm so pleased that this is at least is following on, because Nathan is a very bright guy, a very well educated guy, and Tommy Karpency, the American, he's also a university educated guy, and they get it, they understand it, and they know that you don't have to have all this bad mouthing and all this stuff outside the ring to sell a fight.
Thank you.
And how difficult a chance do you think Karpency is going to be for Cleverly this weekend?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm hoping it will be a big challenge for him. I don't want Nathan having walkover jobs. He was ranked in the cruiserweight division. The only common opponent they had was Murat, who beat him on points, who I've seen quite a few times. Tough guy, strong. He gave Nathan a real tough fight, and this guy went a distance with him. So he's obviously seems like he's got a good chin, and he's got some stamina. From my point of view, I think that Nathan's an excellent young fighter, and I believe he will stop Tommy Karpency, and hopefully we can then go on to make some really big fights for him. But you can never take anything for granted. Last week, Chisora went into the fight against Klitschko as probably the biggest underdog of any fight I've ever seen, heard of, where people were thinking he was be lucky to get past 5 or 6 rounds, but then he gave Klitschko the toughest fight he's had since Lewis.
Well, I was going to say about that, putting aside the press conference, were you actually proud of Chisora's performance against Klitschko that night? Do you think he did prove a lot of people wrong?
I think that's the sad thing about all of this is, I personally did think that he would give Klitschko a real good fight, and my only problem is whether he had the experience to do so. He'd only had 17 fights and obviously not fought at the same level as Klitschko. But his performance was excellent. When you consider the 2 previous world title fights involving Brits, Augley Harrison and David Haye, the heart that he showed was amazing. And I thought it was much closer than the judges scored it. And the last round, he knew he had to try and knock out Klitschko to win, and that's what he tried to do. And he won the last round. He actually went out there, so he wasn't like just making up the numbers. He tried his heart. But the truth of the matter is, all that is, sort of is forgotten about because of all the disgraceful things that happened after the fight.
Going back to this weekend, and Nathan, you said yourself about some possible future fights. There's been talks of Hopkins, Schumann and Clyde. Is there any news on any progression with these deals possibly taking place?
Well, Bernard Hopkins fighting Chad Dawson on the 28th of April, that's on Box Nation. The outcome of that fight should determine, provided Nathan wins tonight, who Nathan fights next. I'm hoping it'll be Hopkins, because I think that'd be a great fight, but my head says that Dawson will win the fight. Now, whether we can make a fight with Dawson, I don't know, but certainly if Bernard Hopkins wins, I'm in talks with Golden Boy, who represent him, and they seem very keen to make the fight. So, fingers crossed, that's what will happen.
And what else can the fans expect to see from Box Nation over the coming months as well?
Well, we've got a great fight up in Scotland. We've got their double world champion, Ricky Burns, defending his title against Paulus Moses. That's a cracking fight, a really good fight. There's a lot of stuff coming in from abroad, as I said, that we've got the Mayweather fights going out on Box Nation. Mayweather Cotto's a great fight. We've got lots of other title fights, smaller title fights on, and a lot of good fights from around the world. So, good stuff. We've got Povetkin as well tomorrow on Saturday. Remember, Povetkin and Huck. That's a good fight. So, some good stuff coming up on there. And for £10, you can't go wrong.
Thanks for speaking to us.